So keywords, which is also called as reserved words. So this is actually available for us with each and every programming language. So every programming language has some set of words which is called as a keyword. So one thing what you have to remember is each and every keyword has a specific meaning and we cannot change that meaning. And we are not supposed to make use of this keyword for any other purpose other than what it is defined for. We cannot make use of it for any other purpose. Okay, and next is all your Python keywords are case sensitive. So whichever way it is defined, we have to use it in that way only. So totally, okay, so totally I'm having 33 keywords are available. Okay, so out of this 33 keywords, these three keywords, that is true, false, and none. Okay, so these three keywords alone, starting letter will be capital. So for true, T will be capital. For false, F is capital, and none, N is capital. For all, only these three words, the first starting letter will be capital. Other than this, all the keywords are in lowercase letters only. So remember this very carefully. Other than these three, all other keywords, all the other 30 keywords are in lowercase or small case letters only. Right. So now when you're having your Python, how to check whether the particular version, whatever the version you're having or whatever version you have installed, what are the keywords available in that? So what I want you guys to do is you can just open your either IDLE or Anaconda or any of your online compilers what we discussed yesterday. I showed you two compilers. One is your Instax, another one was your GDB online compiler. So you can take any of those. And what you're going to do is we are just going to type this 2 lines of code. Okay, so first thing is we are going to have a statement called as import keyword. So this is going to be the first line. So don't worry if you do not understand what it is. That's okay because we will be studying about each and everything later. So first thing what you're going to do is just write import, give a space, keyword, followed by a print statement. So inside the print statement, we are going to give keyword. Keyword is nothing but what you have imported here. So keyword dot KW. It's a single word. So just type this and see. Once you have typed this, just press the enter key. Once you have pressed the shift enter, or you can actually run it. I already showed you yesterday how to run the application. So when you run it, you will be getting a list like this. These are all the keywords that is actually present in this particular version of Python. So everything will be listed for you. As you can see, false, none, true. Only in these three words, the starting character is in a capital letter. Look at all the other things. Everything else is in small case letters only. So this is what you have to remember. So each and every word, okay, here whatever each and every word has a specific meaning. Okay, has a specific task assigned to it. So this is what you have to remember with regards to our keywords. So no need for you to by heart anything. Okay, no need for you to by heart all these keywords because using all these keywords only, we will be writing our program. So definitely when we are using it, you will remember it. So no need for you to by heart. Say for example, or we are familiar with an operator, and is an operator, else if. So like this, lot of words are there which we will be using in our day-to-day programming. So this is what your keywords are all about. Right. So next concept. Okay, the next thing what we are going to check about is the concept of your variables. Okay, right from the starting, I have been telling you about variables. Okay, so what is exactly a variable is? Yeah. So a variable is nothing but a name. A variable is nothing but an identifier. So what is the purpose of this name? The purpose of the name is inside the variable, I am going to store and keep some values. So remember always, your variable is like a container. Your variable is going to act as a container. Say for example, you're going to college daily. You want to carry lunch. How will you carry your lunch? You'll put it in a box and take it. So the box is what? It is a container. Your lunch will be placed inside that. Right. So same way here, my variable is going to act as a container or as a box. What is the purpose of that box? It is used to store something. Say for example, another example you can take. Suppose you are shifting your house. What will you do? All the things we'll be putting it inside some boxes, and then we will label the box. We'll write on top of the box what is there. Suppose you're putting all glass items. What we'll do, we'll write, okay, glass items, breakable. So that when we are shifting it, we will be careful with that box. So like that, each and every box, we'll write something and keep, okay, what is there inside that? Like that we will do when we are shifting. So that is nothing but a container again. So same way, remember, your variable is nothing but a container. So what are you going to do inside the container? You are going to store something. So what is that something? That something can be images, can be some numbers, can be words, that is a string value, it can be a video, it can be a text file, anything. Anything we can store and keep inside that space, inside that container, or that container is what we call, technically we call it as a variable. And always remember, every variable that we create will be having two things. Compulsorily, every variable that we create will have two things. That is nothing but the name and the value. So variable will always have a name, because using that name only, we will be able to access that variable, access the value stored inside the variable. So why do we have a name? I want to access something inside this variable. So for that, I am going to give a name so that I can use it for access purpose. So every variable will have a name. Every variable will be having a value also. Right. So here I already discussed this point with you. Python is a type infer language, that is, unlike other programming languages like C, C++, Java, .NET and all, in Python, we do not need a variable declaration. Declaration is not necessary. How will you do it? We will do directly variable name, any variable name, whatever variable name we prefer, we are going to give that variable name. We are going to make use of this equal to. So purpose of a equal to, we call the equal to as an assignment operator. So equals to is one of the operators in Python. The name of the operator is assignment operator. And what is the purpose of the equal to? Whatever you are giving on the right side, okay, whatever value you are giving on the right side, that value is taken and it is stored inside the variable name, which is on the left hand side. So always remember, equals to whatever the value which is there on the right side is taken, and it will store the value to the variable name which is there on the left side. So like this only it is going to be used. So this is nothing but a variable. So remember, variable name, any name you want, because variable name is an identifier. We already saw the rules of creating a name. So using that rules, create any name you want. Equals to assign whatever value you feel like. So this is valid. But here, when I do like this is an error. This will create a syntax error. Because what is the syntax? Variable name equals to value. We cannot use it like this. So it is incorrect, because this is not a proper variable name at all. These are some points what you have to remember. Okay, now other than this, I'm going to create like this. As I told you, every variable is going to have two parts. This is nothing but the name of the variable. This is the value of a variable. So if it is a number, we are going to give it directly. If it is a string value, that is, if it is any alphabets or any group of characters, we have to embed that. We have to put it inside either single quotes or double quotes. We will discuss more on what is the difference between putting a string in single quotes and double quotes. But as of now, just remember, whenever you're going to give a string value, so I already discussed what is a string. Any group of characters, which may be alphabets, special characters, numbers. So anything, any combination of this is what we call as a string. And whenever you want to assign a string value, you have to put that string inside either single quotes or double quotes. Right, so let us quickly go through some examples. There you go. So have a look at this one. So what I have done, I am creating variables of different types. So here I am saying name equals to, this is a string value. So I am putting it inside double quotes. Then I'm creating another another variable called as email ID equals to, again, this is also a string value. Right, then I'm having mobile number. For mobile number, I have created another variable. So there, here I'm giving numbers. So this type is what we call as integer or numbers. So always remember the word integer or int. Okay, we either call it as an integer or int. So it is always used to store whole numbers. No fractional, no decimal value and all. Whole numbers, full numbers only. Right, then I'm creating another variable called gender. So I'm just assigning the gender. Again, this is a string. So here you guys have to remember one point. Right. In other programming languages like C, C++, again, Java and all, we have a data type. Okay, we have a data type which is called as char. Okay, so we specifically have a data type which we call it as, let me just write it here. We call the data type as char. So what is this char? Char is used to store, okay, a single character. It is used to store a single character. But in Python, okay, in Python, this is not available. So this type of data is not available. So even when you are storing a single character also, it is treated as a string only. So remember this point very carefully. There is no data type called as char. Python does not have a char data type. Even when you are having only a single character, that is also treated as a string only. Right. Then I have my floating point values. We call this as floats. Floating point value means any number with a decimal value or a fractional value. So this is what we call as a float. So like this, we can create different variables. So each and every variable, we will be assigning a value for that variable. Right, so here I have created a float variable, string variable, int variable, you know, like this I have created different types. Then I'm going to print the values. So whatever value that is stored inside this variable, I want to print it. So how to print it? So what you're going to do, we already know print. Print function, whatever we give within the print function is going to be displayed for us. So here I'm going to go print and then I am going to give the variable name. So when I give the variable name like this, what is going to happen is, first it will print the value stored at that variable. So always remember, this is going to store the value that is stored inside this variable. See guys, there is a big difference when you're giving like this. Okay, this, if you give like this and when you give like this, there is a huge difference. So don't make this mistake. You have to be very careful. This is a variable name, right? So you may think, okay, I'm giving a name like this. No, this is a string value. This becomes, whenever you give within double quotes, it becomes a string value. So what is going to happen? It is going to just print it. Whatever is given within double quotes inside the print statement will just get printed. You see here, I'm running this program. See, what is the first print statement giving me? It is giving me as name. That's all, because I have put it inside the double quotes. So whatever is there in the double quotes is going to be displayed for me as it is. So here, this is not considered as a variable name, but it is just considered as a string value. So if you want to print the name, if you want to print the value stored inside the variable, you have to directly use the variable name, no single quotes or double quotes, nothing. Directly just give the variable name inside the print statements. Right, so let me just remove this. Okay, and let me run it again. See, all the values is going to get printed. So this is how I will be creating the variables, and this is how I will be printing the value of a variable. Right. want to tell you a few methods, okay, that are actually available for us, right? So in Python, we have certain, I told you Python is not following any big syntax and all. It's a very easy language for me to write. So I have one way of doing it. I can do this kind of assignments. I can assign a variable value like this also. What do you mean by that? I'm saying A equals to B equals to C equals to 1. So now understand how this is going to happen. Always from the right side to the left side. Equals to operator will be going from the right side to the left side. So first it will take 1. It will assign this 1 value to my variable C. Then whatever value is there in C, that is going to get assigned to the variable B. And whatever value is there in this B, that is going to get assigned to this variable A. So always understand, whenever you are using the equals to operator, how it is going to work. It will always go from the right side to the left side. So first C will be assigned, and then B will be assigned, and then A is going to get assigned. Now all the 3 variables is going to have only one value, which is nothing but the number 1, because that is the value you are assigning to C, and C value to B, and B value to A. So this type of multiple variable assignments. So you're assigning multiple variables with one single value. This is acceptable. This is not an error. You can run the program. It is going to produce you an output. If you want, you can try a different value also. Run it. See, now when you're printing it, see, it is printing me the value as 10. So whatever value you're giving here, that is what is going to get stored. So this is one type. This is one type of assigning values to a variable. The second type, okay, the second type is like this. I'm having 3 variables. See what I have given, A comma B comma C is equal to 1 comma 2.5 comma John. So now how is this going to work for me? So always understand the first value. Okay, the first value will go to the first variable. The second value is going to go to my second variable. And the third value is going to go for my third variable. So like this only the assignment will happen. This is also accepted. It is not an error. It will work very finely. So multiple variables, instead of giving A is equal to 1, B is equal to 2.5, C is equal to like that separately, we can give it like this in one single line also. So this is much more efficient way of writing our program. So number of lines will get reduced for me. That is the advantage of it. So now this is also allowed. So when I print A, B and C, see, I'll be getting the values like this. The first value to the first, second value to the second, and the third value to the third variables will get assigned. So same way here what I'm doing, see, I'm having F name comma L name. 2 variables are given. So then I'm having the value Lucifer and Satan. So Lucifer is going to go for my first name and Satan is going to go for my last name. So like this, the values are going to be assigned. So this, if I give like this also, it is a valid assignment. If I give like this also, it is a valid assignment. So Python is very, very flexible for me. That is the advantage of it. Right. And the next key point, what I wanted to discuss with you is variable. As the name suggests, the value of a variable is not constant. So remember this very carefully. A value of a variable is not constant. That is, value is not fixed. It can keep on changing. See here, the first line, I'm assigning the value of x as 100. Right, then I'm printing my x. Then again, in the third line, I'm saying x is equal to Python. So the same variable, this is also x, this is also x. But here in this particular line, the value of x is 100. But when it comes to this line, the value of x is going to be changed. It is going to be changed to Python. So that is the speciality of a variable. The values can keep on varying, can keep on changing. So it is not fixed. So once if when I say x is equal to 100, it is not going to be same. It is not always going to be 100. No. So that is another important point what you have to remember. Right. So now, one very, very important thing what we will be doing with variables is swapping. Okay, in all other programming languages, whenever we start with program, the first one of a very common program, even in your college, you might have done it, swapping of two numbers. So what do you mean by swap? Interchanging. The word swapping means interchanging the values. Suppose I'm having a value A is equal to red, B is equal to blue. Now I want the B value, B variable to store the value red, and I want the A variable to store the value blue. So I want to interchange the values. So normally in other programming languages, I have to write a small logic for that. I have to make use of either a temp variable and then I have to interchange the values. But here in Python, it is very, very simple. And guys, don't try this in other languages. This is not going to work. This is a speciality of Python alone. I can simply say A comma B is equal to B comma A because I told you just now Python supports this type of assignments also. You can assign a variable value like this also. Multiple objects we can assign the value at the same time. So hence, what I'm going to do, A comma B, the two variables, A is one variable, B is another variable, is equal to B comma A. So the first value is going to get stored in the first variable. Then the second value is going to go and get stored in the second variable. So this is a very, very interesting thing, but it is applicable only for Python, not for any other programming language. You can just run this and see. So you will be able to see the changes, not just for any string values, even if you are putting any numbers also. See, I'm giving like this. So A is equal to 10, B is equal to 25. Now I want to run this. Wait a minute, where did I go? Yes, see, before swapping, A is 10, B is 25. After swapping, A becomes 25, B becomes 10. So not just for numbers, anything, any string value, any float value, whatever it is, we can just swap with this one single line of code. So this is another interesting facts with your variables. What do you need to know about your variable? Right. Now, till there is a keyword called as del. See, I told you there are 33 keywords and we will be making use of all those keywords in our program. So here I introduce you to the first keyword. So we have a keyword which is called as del. Now, as the name suggests, del means what? Delete. So del is a short form of the word delete. So that is what I'm going to do. So here we have to understand one simple concept. See, any variable that we are going to create, in order for it to store the values, it needs some memory space. Where will I go and store the value? Inside the variable, right? But again, where? In my system, some memory will be allotted for this particular variable. So inside that memory location, it is going to go and store this value and keep it. So now a memory space is going to get allocated for this variable means once I have made use of this variable, okay, once my program is getting over, then why I should have the memory still? Not necessary, right? My program itself is over. Then where am I going to access the variable? No. So what we will do is we will make use of this del keyword and it is used to deallocate the memory. Note my word very carefully. Deallocate the memory. So whatever memory that has been created for this particular variable will be taken back, will be deleted. So after deleting a variable, when you try to print it, it is going to throw you an error. So remember this very carefully. When you create a variable, memory space will be created. Inside the memory space, this value is going to be stored. So you can make use of that variable in your program anywhere you want. Make use of the variable. Once when you are going to finish your program, we will be deleting the variable. That is deallocation of the memory space. Whatever memory has been given to me, I am giving it back. I'm giving it back to my system. I'm saying I no longer require it. So I'm going to make use of the keyword del, one space followed by the variable name. So now what will happen? Whatever memory is there allocated for this variable will be deleted. So now understand, when I delete the memory, what is going to happen? The value inside that memory also will be gone. So once this variable itself is not there, when I print the variable, what is going to get printed? Nothing. It doesn't know what is NO itself. So hence it is going to throw you the error. And this type of error is called as a name error. So remember, this is called as a name error. And why we are getting the name error? Because it is saying NO. NO, there is no variable called as NO. This name is itself is not defined. So that is the error you are going to be getting. And this is how we make use of this particular keyword. Right. Guys, any doubts so far? Are you clear on what we just saw?
Yes, ma'am.
Others also, please give me a reply, guys.
Clear, ma'am.
Clear, ma'am.
Guys, please don't feel shy. Anywhere you feel that I am going fast or you're not understanding, please stop me and ask, okay? Right. So the next thing, what I wanted to tell you is, yes, sorry. Okay, we have something which is called as a line structure. Okay, in Python, we have a system like how to write our program, how to write our things. I told you, we have to follow some basic syntaxes. So here, always remember, when you're going to write your program, we have to write it. When you are starting a single double quotes or a single quotes, we have to finish that and then close it out. We cannot carry it across multiple lines. So that is not proper. That is not a correct way of doing it. So what I mean is, see for this program, what I have written, I am saying print. I started hi, and then I am going to the next line and I am printing how are you. So then I am closing this double quotes and then I am closing the print statement here. So when I try to run this, this is going to create a syntax error. This type of error is what we call as a syntax error because it is the wrong way of writing our program. You will be getting something called as EOL. So now understand, what do you mean by EOL? End of line. So it means that end of line. So it's saying like end of line is not coming properly. So that is what you will be getting as a EOL error. So always remember, whenever you're writing it, make sure you're finishing it in the same line. Right. And then I already told you about one thing, print statement. Every print statement is going to get printed in a separate line. This I already discussed with you when I was telling you about print yesterday. Now, one more point is, here the spaces what you leave is going to be ignored. So always remember, after one print statement, suppose I'm giving this much of space, then after second print statement, now like this, and then I'm going to run my program. No problem. All the empty spaces are always ignored by my interpreter. It is not going to bother about any of these empty spaces. In your output, you will get it like this only. Every print statement in one single line. All this in between lines are ignored by your interpreter. So this is another important point what you have to remember. In case you are giving any lines like this, no problem. It is accepted. Why we give the space like this? To make sure everyone understands the program clearly. If we have completed one logic, normally we used to give a space and then after a space or two, we will start writing the next line of code. So that is what we normally do. And spaces are ignored. Right. So now, one more very important point, semicolon. So in all programming languages, I guess you guys are already familiar with C. How will we write C? After each and every print statement or variable, we will be putting a semicolon like this. And then only we will execute our program. If the semicolon is missing, your compiler will throw you an error. But in Python, we don't have anything like that. No mandatory semicolon. Semicolons are not mandatory. If you put it also, no error. If you don't give also, no error. See, I'm going to run this program now. So let me run this. See, still it gives me the same output. Okay, I'm going to take it. Now I'm going to run it again. See, still it gives me the same. So always remember, semicolons are not mandatory. It is not mandatory. If you want, you can use semicolon. If you don't want, you don't have to use semicolon. That is what I said. It is having a very, very flexible syntax. So writing the code is very, very easy for me. Right. So the next important point, what you have to remember here is when you're writing statements like this. Okay, say I am writing the program under one single line. So print, okay, I am saying two print statements. I'm writing it in one single line. So now what is going to happen? So now what is going to happen? It is going to throw you an error. When you run a program like this, it is going to throw you a syntax error saying it is invalid syntax. So let me run it again and show you. See. So when you're having more than one executable statements in a single line. So understand my words very carefully. When you're having more than one executable statements in a single line, then semicolon is mandatory. Now semicolon becomes mandatory. See, if I have another print statement following this, then here also I need to put a semicolon and then only I can write the print statement here. I will give bye. Now, if I don't have anything after this, if I don't have, this is the last, after this nothing is there, then I don't have to put a semicolon here. Not necessary, but these two places I have to compulsorily give. Now, when I run this program, see, it is executing. So it says hello, it says how are you, it says bye. So again, remember, just because you are writing all the print statements in one single line, it will not get printed in the same line. Every print statement is going to get printed in a separate line only. Very, very key things you have to observe. So remember, when you are writing more than one line of code, okay, more than one executable statements in a single line, then your semicolon is mandatory. If you do not give the semicolon, see, it is going to throw you a syntax error. So again, see, these are some of the points which you have to remember very carefully when you're writing your own programs. Right. Now, see again what I have done. So first statement, semicolon, second statement, semicolon, third statement. So when you're having multiple statements in a single line of code, then semicolon is needed. Otherwise, semicolon is not mandatory. So this point always remember. Right. So now I told you that we cannot write codes like this. Yes, we cannot do it, but there are a few exceptions. We can use multiple lines when we are using brackets. When we are using brackets, okay, whether it is a square bracket or whether it is a curly braces, okay, when we are using brackets like this, then it is possible for me to span the variable in two lines. So if I want, I can do it like this also. See, each and everything in a single line. This is also allowed for me, because how it is treated: opening square bracket, closing square bracket, within this whatever is there belongs to this variable. Like that only it is going to take. So this is allowed only with brackets, not with my print statement or not with my statements like this. Like this, if you write it, it is wrong. But when we are using these kinds of brackets, it is acceptable. So same way here, I'm using the parenthesis. Okay, here also I can make use of it. So now when you run this program, see, it is going to give you the values. Everything is going to store in this variable only. Multiple values getting stored in a single variable. We call this as a tuple and we call this as a list, which we will be seeing in our further classes in detail. But all you have to remember is when you are putting either a square bracket or a curly braces or a parenthesis, it is possible for us to have the values spanned under multiple lines. Multiple lines are accepted, right? And again, one more point is, when you want to write the print statement in multiple lines, then what we have to do is we have to use the slash. The slash is what we call as a line continuation. So this is going to tell my interpreter that this line is not over. The next line which is coming belongs to the same thing only. So this is what you call as a line continuation. So remember, we cannot make use of it directly like this. What we have to do, in case if we want to write it like this, then you have to make use of the line continuation symbol, which is nothing but a slash. Which is nothing but a slash. If you write it like this, it is accepted. See, now when you print it, you will be able to get it in this line, and this is the value of this particular statement. So line continuation again is one very important. Right. Next thing, I already discussed with you about the concept of comments. I hope you guys remember that when we are talking about the disadvantages of Python, I told you that Python does not support multi-line comments. I hope you guys remember it. So see here, how will I write a comment is, I will be using this hash symbol. So anything that you write after the hash symbol or following the hash symbol, that one single line is totally ignored by my interpreter. Whatever you write within this line, my interpreter will not consider it at all. It is not part of my programming code at all. It is simply used for my own purpose. So what I am going to do as a programmer, for my understanding, I am adding the comments. It has nothing to do with my program's execution. It is not going to affect my program's output in any ways. So this is the importance of a comment. For programmers' benefit, we are adding comments. In Python, we have only the single line comment. Only one type of comments, which is nothing but a single line comments. And how to write it? With the hash symbol. Whatever we write, that one single line is going to be ignored by my interpreter. Right. So far clear, guys? Kindly give me a confirmation.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, guys.